If you've worked in CAD before, I'm sure that you found it frustrating sometimes that your line work doesn't remember how it was drawn or what it's supposed to represent. Well, that's where parametric constraints can come in to help you out. Constraints will help you to program your line work. Instead of your object being an arbitrary line, it can be defined or programmed to be horizontal, or it can be programmed with a length of 25.5 units. You can even lock the endpoints of your line to a specific set of coordinates. So let's open up our mechanical example imperial drawing file with this chapter. And here we have an example of a mechanical drawing that's been drawn with constraints. Now, there are two types of parametric constraints, geometric and dimensional. You can use either one in your drawings or both at any time. If you go to the Parametric tab on your ribbon, you'll see examples of these, the geometric constraints and the dimensional constraints. Geometric constraints define objects to be parallel, perpendicular, collinear, radial, and more. So you have your geometric constraints here, tangent, parallel, coincident, collinear, etc. Dimensional constraints define length, angle, radius, diameter, those types of things. Now, there are a lot more options here to each type of constraint, and we're going to take a look at most of them, but they're all here in your Parametric Ribbons tab. So if we open up the Parametrics Manager, it's right here, click on that box, it brings up a palette, and it has different parameters that have already been defined inside this file. Now, this works as just a regular palette, so you can do whatever you want to it or need to be able to look at your drawings and work with your information that you have here. So if we go down through this list of dimensional constraints, that's what these are all here, and we select the bolt hole, we see the expression here is 1 and the value is 1. And the units of this drawing is in inches, so it's in inches. So if I click in here, in the expression, you can see where that constraint is. It's for the diameter of that bolt hole circle. That's this guy right here. You can also see in this top view the lines for that hole. This line and this line, they represent that as if it were a cross section coming directly through the center of this wheel. So when I change this expression from 1 to 2, all of the holes become larger, as well do these cross-sectional views of that hole. If I go back to it, put the value back as 1, you can see they automatically go back. That's what geometric and dimensional constraints can do for you. That's a very simple demonstration, but it's a big time saver. So if your client finds out that they need larger bolts for this wheel, you can make that change very quickly and very easily. The geometric constraints will help keep your line work in place or as designed. These bolt holes were also concentric, and they needed to stay that way, so we applied the concentric constraint to them. We did a lot of different things, and we're going to show you what all of these mean, all the key height, key side, key width, shaft ID, etc. And we did that so that we can program the top and side views to relate to how the front view is drawn. And whenever we change the front view, the other side views are updated accordingly and proportionally. So that's one use and a quick overview of geometric and dimensional constraints.